What's up, you guys? Tony here for Project Grow. It is the final weekend of March of 2015. I hope everybody's doing well. I wanted to specifically thank you guys for being patient with me the last couple of weeks. It has been kind of hectic, sorting through not only the specific trip to San Diego for the Permacultures 2 conference, but also an influx of good vibrational people coming out here to spend their time, whether it be spring break or just coming out here to spend time with me, and just me specifically going on vacation for about 2 weeks. So I appreciate you guys' patience. Kind of the learning curve that I'm going through to try to infiltrate all this information that I've been going through and what I've been learning this past month, and trying to formulate different ideas, kind of making everything a little bit more interactive with you guys. Specifically what we did the last couple weeks with Kevin Noel, an independent farmer from Humblebee Hill Farms in Shingle Springs. I think just being able to touch base on the bioavailability approach to independent farming from a perspective of a person that's younger than me, and I'm only 24, so a person that's doing that specifically, even if it's on a small scale with the 5 acres that he has, getting to know him, getting to know his approach towards food, and getting to know his desire to want to do specific things for the community, and not only that, just giving back to the earth in the way that he's doing the restoration agriculture. I think that's beautiful. So I hope you guys got a bunch of tidbits of that. I've gotten a couple people that got feedback from, specifically Kevin Noel, and how much he really truly enjoyed sitting down and just doing something small like this, being able to talk within that type of idea. So I think that was beautiful. So shout outs to him. Not only that, Gregory Cook, for being able to allow us to, talk amongst ourselves over a great meal, and also the setting for us to kind of sit down and be able to do that, as well as Adam. Thank you. One of my closest friends back home, coming out here and helping out and just kind of construing this and making this an idea possible for us to go to San Diego and just be overwhelmed with a beautiful amount of education to bring forth to the people of Project Grow. So thank you. Shout out to all those people. Not only that, I think what has been really, really, truly important for me to kind of learn throughout this process is the emphasis on knowing your producer through that organic labeling process. Kevin Noel touched base on it the last couple weeks. Is just knowing how intimate that is, whether it be in the local economy, going to farmers markets, as well as not only just the approach to how you're eating, but also looking at different aspects of organic food and what it really truly means to buy organically or bioavailably or sustainably, doing that approach within the community that you live in. I think that's huge. I'm going to give you guys a little bit of tidbits and information at the end of this video for specific websites you can go, how I do wholesaling, specifically through bulk products, as well as just learning yourself. I think what's more important about just the food aspect of what it can be to eat organically or eat on a economically viable source is being interactive, being able to go see those websites, getting to learn about these people, and specifically aspects of those people that are running the websites, to know where your food's coming from. I think that's huge, because you get to have that intimate conversation within yourself to be able to know what you really truly want to do on a holistic approach towards food. But that stems off the power of community. I mean, I think what's very interesting is I've been having talks with a lot of people from the Progress Foundation about how we can be a little bit more interactive with you guys. I think the email platform is beautiful for you guys to ask questions. That has kind of mellowed out to the point where people are getting a little bit more comfortable within their approach, but also at the same time we're going to start doing a little bit more interactive things within the future. Not only us being at the beta stage of what we're doing for Project Grow is getting a little bit more interactive with you guys on that level. But also what I wanted to really emphasize on, and the concept of what is really important within the organic approach, is that if you look on the United States Department of Agriculture website, farmers can be exempt by their certified organic level by if they're making a produce or if they have a product sale of less than $5,000. So I think that's another approach to not only knowing your farmer, if you can keep it on a small scale to keep that local economy thriving, that's beautiful, but also be very aware that multi-ingredients things within stores, as well as 95% of their actual ingredient list only has to be certified organic. So I think that's stemming from the actual honesty from the Department of Agriculture, which is kind of, risque with specifically, government officials and government-based corporations or government-based entities within their company. I think a very approach to be very aware of what you're actually consuming. And like I said, always ask questions, always know your source. I think what's really important about, just the organic and sustainable approach to actually living and eating is knowing where your food is coming from. Have that source, be able to keep that source, and also be able to be comfortable with that source. Always ask those questions to know where your resource level is. But also, what I've found really interesting within the last week is a couple of videos that have kind of reframed my mindset about consumerism and just my concept of not only just living on an economic viability level, but just living happy in general, just being a little bit more, not necessarily content with how I'm living and how I'm approaching my life, but also just being aware and being more present for other people and just being a little bit more, on a high vibration so people can constantly take some of that energy with them and, promote their day with, some of my ability to, infiltrate and make them smile and be around them in a good sense. But I think with the two films I've watched, like I said, like I've said this in the past, if you don't have Netflix, go get it. It's amazing. It's going to open your eyes to so much just on a documentary level, but also in the same sense of what you can truly do, not only food-wise, but, just a mental approach to certain ways of living your life. And this kind of stems back to our subconscious seeding series. But the films I Am and also the film Happy, these two documentaries about just different aspects of where people are living in different areas of the world and how their forms of happiness and also questioning ourselves, like, what can we do to better the world? I think it's a beautiful approach, and just watching those two movies, I actually watched them back to back, and then I watched them again a day later just to keep that mind frame in, noticing that my life's not too bad. My life's not too bad. If I ever have an approach or like wake up and I think like, oh, this way of living that I'm doing, or how I'm living, I'm not that bad. My worries are very minimal compared to what people are going through and how vibrantly they can live, within their resource level and also within, what they're doing on a daily basis. I think that is so important to not only living a healthy life, but the economic viability approach to, us living either, whether it be in the United States or anywhere that's a little bit more of an industrial-based country, you can appreciate what we have to offer and what is available in any level, whether it be resource food or just, the information that is present. But just to kind of give you guys a heads up on these specific, wholesale websites, these kind of, the last 4 years, specifically the last 2 years, has been a little bit more, held to me what I feel is more easier for me to approach on my daily living, like where I get a lot of my information and where I get a lot of my food source and where I get a lot of my, just construed information to, live a better life within the actual products that I have. But these specific, websites, specifically, earthshiftproducts.com. I think what Dr. Robert Cassar has done specifically within that mindset, beautiful, beautiful. Also, if you're looking for things like nuts and seeds for, people that are more on, the veganistic or, just the holistic approach by doing a lot of their protein sources outside of meat, nuts.com, pretty self-explanatory. But also earthcircle.com, a lot of our superfoods that we use within my work, here in Studio City, California is, Earth Circle. They have a very great lineup of superfoods as well as, wholesale packaging if you guys want to do that. Also Dragon Herbs, like for instance right here, Dragon Herbs, boom, a lot of my herbs. This is where I get all my stuff. Like basically, my concept of Chinese herbalism and going off with Ron Teagarden, what he does, that's my, way of, doing my things within a medicinal level. Also, dragonflyearthmedicine.com. Kevin Noel, who I was talking about, he turned me on to the product of essential cocos and herbal cocos and what we got to consume in San Diego. Huge. Also, if you're even on the level of like planting in your own garden, they huge flower inoculants, like just beautiful like bedding grounds for specific probiotic content for your flower and plants, which is very cool, very cool. Something I'm still getting used to as well. But also what has kind of transformed my approach to specific living while being at the conference and then over the last couple weeks is the power of mycology, mycelium and mushrooms. Like just what Paul Stamets has done. If you don't know who he is, Paul Stamets, he's a bioremediation activist towards the mycelium complex, and not only that, just mushrooms and what it can do. He has a TED Talk on Netflix where it is 6 ways mushrooms can save the world. Beautiful. I got to see him speak, on the Friday of the conference, and he almost brought me to tears at 9 o'clock in the morning, on a Friday. So he was talking about, his mother's, story about having cancer and being the one of the 50 in her control group that was using turkey tail mushrooms to infiltrate that type of lifestyle and being able to overcome cancer, and she was the only survivor. Like, that was beautiful. It was such a moving story, and it just recapped and it just reframed my burning desire for the health and aspect, not only of myself but also the community that I'm surrounding. But also, he has a website specifically called hostdefense.com. It's based off of his line of mycelium and mushroom that is just, it's hands down, I think, the best, website if you guys want to open your eyes up to mycology. Also, Peter McCoy and radicalmycology.com. These are huge aspects of what you can do based off of your idea of what fungi actually is. So I think that is beautiful aspect of not only my holistic approach, but something I didn't even think of a couple of weeks ago, let alone a month ago, was about mushrooms, like how really potent mushrooms actually are for this world. But I think what's very interesting, besides those specific websites that I'm talking about, is just open your ideas. The power of community is asking not only those questions, but also be around people that are a little bit more vibrant and want to take on that mission with you, people that want to support you. I have a great support system around me, even though a lot of my friends are all over this country. A lot of my really close friends that I've learned a lot from on a health level don't even live in Los Angeles anymore. So I want to thank everybody that's within my community that I'm trying to help here, but also Progress Foundation, you guys in the Twin Cities. You guys are my homeland. Take care of each other. Love each other. I wish I could be there more, but this information is not only just for your platform, for me to connect with you guys because I love my homeland, but also just stay within your community resources and also ask those questions. You have great people. Also, don't be afraid to hit me up. You guys always have my information. Always be available. I'm always here to, constantly feed you guys with not only good vibrations, but, knowledge to be better people, in essence. So I want to thank you guys for being patient with me continuously. Thank you for allowing me to continuously do this. We will be back next week to wrap up the entire economic viability resource. But other than that, you guys hustle and meditate, live like a warrior, love each other, but more importantly, love yourself, and I'll talk to you guys next week. Peace.